forget that you also need to have this in front of you. The chart that was handed out yesterday. Oh, that's right. Some of you don't have it. Okay. Stop. Okay. If you were gone yesterday, I don't have access to my attendance, so I need to know who was gone yesterday. Oh my gosh, y'all. No, you weren't. Sit down.
How do you know that?
Okay. There we go. Now. You were here. That's your problem, not mine. Okay. One of the other classes is going to start having their 1, 2, 3, 4 as a grade. Don't make. Oh, it is 1:10. You needed to be ready 10 minutes ago, minimum. All right. So yesterday we filled in some parts of this. Now we're going to be filling in more today. So yesterday, the opposite of non-vascular would be vascular. And we talked first about non-vascular plants. 2 in specific. We talked about, Lauren, mosses. What was the other one, Bella? Liverworts. There is another one called hornworts that we didn't really talk about. Oh, that. Then, yesterday we talked about seedless vascular plants, and there were 3. Club mosses, horsetails, and Addie ferns. Now, pay attention to your board over here. Opposite of seedless would be seed bearing are the ones that we're going to talk about today. Sorry if the box is not big enough. Seed bearing. Well, lean. Now, obviously, as you can see on the chart, seed bearing has 2 different types, which each have multiple types. Okay, we'll get to those in a second, but I cannot move over to the slideshow without deleting this. So are we good?
No.
Okay.
This is like a family tree. You can save it.
It's just called an org chart. Oh, I can, can't I? Hey. It still deleted it, so I hope everybody had it. Yeah, I do, which is not cool, but better than deleting it every time. Okay, so over to our notes. Let's talk about seed-bearing vascular plants. Oh, that's really small. I'm sorry. So with seed-bearing vascular plants, each seed contains what's called the embryo of a new plant. Embryo is just that, you guys know this. Well, is it a baby plant? Okay. And the seed itself also has the food reserves stored for that plant. Think of it kind of like an egg, a chicken egg. Inside of a chicken egg, what do you have? The baby chick. What else? The egg yolk, which is the food for the baby chick. Now, the egg white has a totally different purpose. By the way, when you are eating chicken eggs out of the store, they are not fertilized. You're fine. You're not eating baby chickens. Well, if you have chickens at home, that might be another story. Do you have a rooster? Okay. Okay. So the key thing to remember there is that the seed itself is not the baby plant. It's not the embryo. The seed itself has the embryo and the food reserves for the plant. Vascular plants can be classified by how those seeds are produced. So we're going to talk about those distinctions now, and this comes into play on your org chart in a sec. Yeah. We're doing a plant project, but you're not having to grow anything. Because to be perfectly honest, I have a black thumb. I'm not going to ask you guys to grow things. I can't.
I can't.
You know what a green thumb is?
It's where you're good at planting.
It's when you're good at growing plants. So what do you think I mean when I say a black thumb? I am horrible. I kill them. I kill succulents. It's terrible. Yes. See, my son's light one, it grew like this much and then just quit. His one in the dark's about this tall. So yeah, I'm saying all the siblings and the teacher's kid all in the same class. Okay, so those vascular plants with how their seeds are produced, you have angiosperms, which are vascular plants that have flowers. Now, once we get to the second breakdown, then we'll go back to the org chart. For now, just fill in your blanks. So angiosperms have flowers. Their seeds are protected inside of a fruit. Before I go any further, can you think of an angiosperm? Pearson. An apple tree. Thank you. So angiosperms have flowers. The flowers then end up turning into fruit, and the seed is inside that fruit. Probably the most common example is an apple. Yes.
I don't understand that. I kind of know that, but I don't understand it. It's like the plant saying, "Come eat my seeds."
Hey, you're on video. Chill. We will talk about that in a second. Miriam. Yeah, they're a type of squash. Are they an angiosperm?
Yes.
Yes, they are. Okay, when I say, yes. When I say fruit, okay, that means that there's something with some sort of fleshy food-like type material with the seeds inside of it. Does a pumpkin fit that?
Pickles are natural.
Cucumbers fit that. Tomatoes fit that.
Pickles aren't natural.
On the inside, right?
Natural.
Yeah. Yep.
Pickles are natural.
Okay, guys. That one means you need to stop talking, okay? Stop.
They're not natural.
Okay, and you know he's wrong, so just ignore him. Lily. See, I knew you were going to ask that as soon as... I don't know where my... Oh, there it is. Yeah, I'm blind.
No, it's a fruit. A gourd.
That should be a sign.
What?
Oh, hey! By the definition, yes. Pumpkins are a fruit.
Anything that grows and is like
The seeds inside of the fleshy fruit, yes.
the only thing that determines it from a fruit and a vegetable, vegetables are part of the plant.
Where the seeds are, yep.
Fruits are from the plant. If it comes from the plant at all, then it's a fruit. If
Okay.
it's part of the plant, it's a vegetable.
I always miss. I have to try again. Shh. Okay. Moving on. The other group is called gymnosperms. Gymnosperms do not have flowers. Their seeds are protected inside of cones. Knowing that, can you think of a plant that produces cones? Ava. Pine cone, perfect. So,
Pineapple. It's not a cone.
ahem. So now, hey, it showed up. Don't know what happened there. So now, on your chart, you know what the two designations are for seed-bearing plants. Only one problem. Can we fill it in yet? Why not? Oh, we don't know the rest of it. Have we talked about neophytes or cotyledons? Okay. Well, exactly. What in the world? So let's go back to this.
What in the what?
All right. Shh. So let's talk about gymnosperms first. Shh. Gymnosperms include cycads. Cycads are these things right here.
Yeah, I kind of does.
Looks like a Bulbasaur, doesn't it?
It does.
Okay. Okay, you guys were so great yesterday. Shh. These are often mistaken for palm trees, but look at how short it is for one. What you cannot see from this picture is that inside these leaves in the center, there are large cones, and that's what makes this a cycad, not a palm tree. These get used a lot for landscaping because they don't grow all that tall, but they're good for like if you're trying to bring in some landscaping that has something larger. These are good for that. Not in this area. They like a little warmer weather. The next one is ginkgo trees. Ginkgo. These produce fan-shaped leaves. They do change color and fall off, so you might see them around right now. Ginkgo trees can tolerate pollution really well, so they're actually a really good tree to plant in bigger cities because they can handle the pollution, and then they still do that cycle of turning the carbon dioxide into oxygen. Yes, Carly. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What about the plants that aren't?
Like what?
Pumpkin.
This is in fall. What causes the leaves to change color in the fall? They're dying. Nowhere on the plant at all is green? At all? The stem, the leaves, nothing? You show me a picture. Yes, Pearson. Hey, shh.
So if you grew some trees in your yard and just like put a dome over your house, would you be able to live because the trees would make oxygen?
Probably not in the right ratios. No. Ginkgo trees are also really resistant to pests and diseases. Again, that's what makes them good for landscaping and good for planting in the city. And if your parents are the supplement vitamin taking type, they might take ginkgo. Ginkgo biloba is a common supplement, if I remember correctly, which is ironic. I think it helps with memory. Next, you have neophytes. I know, it looks so fun.
That looks like another Pokemon.
So these are found in really hot, dry areas or in tropical rainforests. Point being, it's going to be hot. So you're going to find them here? No, that's why none of you are like familiar with this because you're.
It's not smoldering.
Oh, girl, we're talking year round. Now, neophytes can include trees, shrubs, or vines. They come in different. They come in different forms. And here's the deal: A lot of times they're mistaken for angiosperms because their cones can look a lot like flowers, but they're still cones. And their vascular systems are similar to angiosperms. We're going to talk about vascular systems next week. So you don't need to worry about what that is.
I like how you said
I know. Did you like how I threw that into the video too?
you're like say it with
Next
me.
year.
Say it with me.
Yes,
Next
Addie.
year. I was like, it's the answer.
Hey, back row. What is up with you today?
Shh. I didn't know that.
Vascular actually is cardiovascular that refers to your blood vessels. No, that's your respiratory. Vascular just has to do with tubes carrying things inside the body. Hey, shh.
Oh, so like a vein?
Yes.
Oh, I have
Next on the gymnosperms, we have conifers. Wait a minute, just a second. Did I mess up? I messed up my numbering. This is number 4. Conifers. Those are what you might call, you might call them evergreens. This is a variety of pine, spruce, fir trees.
I want to be like this photograph.
Is this right? Wait, where are we?
Yeah, I know. I just said that. Shh. I messed up my numbering. This is number 3. This is number 4. Does that help? Yes. Hey. Shh. Try that again, Becker, where I could maybe actually hear you. Conifers are. Yeah. Huh? Oh, okay. Yeah, I apologize for the numberings. Listen, all conifers have needle or scale-like leaves, and they are nearly all evergreens, not always, but nearly. Now, what it means when it says evergreens, they stay green. They are evergreen. The opposite of that, like the ginkgo trees that I showed you that turn yellow, those are called deciduous trees. If a tree loses its leaves in the fall and is bare all winter before getting new leaves in the spring, it's a deciduous tree. Evergreens keep their leaves. And the part of the reason that they stay green is because they don't need nearly as much water as deciduous trees. Those thin leaves don't lose much water to transpiration. Remember when we talked about that?
Nope.
It was part of the water cycle.
I don't
Yes.
remember.
Okay. Which also makes them really good at resisting drought. I was gonna say there weren't. Yes, Pearson.
So as deciduous trees,
Deciduous.
deciduous trees die in the winter and then come back to life in the spring. Are they necromancers?
They don't really die. Their leaves
So
just
now,
lose water.
shh. Ahem. Ava, Sophia, thank you. Now we can fill this in because we've talked about neophytes. What category of seed-bearing vascular plants did that fall into?
Uh-oh.
Ginkgo.
No.
Ginkgo.
We talked about 4 gymnosperms, which tells us that the other side is angiosperms. And we talked about the 4 types. I gave you neophytes. What were the other 3? Raise your hand and give me one. Pearson. Conifers. What else? Becker?
Do they matter where it goes?
Ginkgo. And what was the first one that we talked about, Brenlin? The first one that we talked about. What's it called? Cycads.
That's what I said, and you looked at me weird.
Oh, I thought you said ginkgo. Sorry.
I said cycad.
We talked about those.
Just some plant.
Oh, those that Pokemons. Okay.
Yeah, you got a little bit off track, didn't you? Okay. Shh. Oh, sorry. That says conifers underneath that. Okay.
I'm done.
Okay. Shh. Guys, I am regretting the candy that I gave you. Shush. Now, there are 3 main types of conifers. Shh. There are 3 main types of conifers. There are pine trees. Pine trees have those woody, sort of egg-shaped cones. Their needles are going to be found in a bundle, which means that if you go to a pine tree and you look at the needle, they come off all in one point. They're not individual. Yes. Nathan. Shh. Yeah. They do lose their leaves, their needles, but it's not like deciduous trees where they all fall at once and the tree is bare. Carson. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, Brenlin.
So we have like a pine bush that my dog used to under, and one time a bunch of a bird got stuck in it. For it, so I'm like, bird, get out, bird, leave, and it's just like right out of it.
All right. Shh. Quiet. Pine trees do have some uses. Their wood is used for furniture. Sorry, not for furniture. For lumber, for cabinets, for fence posts, for paper. And I apologize. I said it wrong on furniture because, not likely, because I'm going to pass around a piece of pine. But the point, the reason it is not used for furniture is because I can make a dent in it with my fingernail. Now, well, you'll be able to see right up here in this corner. Point being, is that good for furniture? No. Most of the time, you don't find pine furniture for that reason. Cats, it doesn't seem to matter what kind of wood. Now, pine resin, listen. What is resin?
Goo.
The tree sap, the goo inside the tree. Pine resin is used in a lot of different products. Quiet. Tar, inks, paints, adhesives on bandages, and the bows of stringed instruments. If you play a violin or a cello, the strings for those are often coated with pine resin. That's what gives them that slick feel to them. Now, the next one that we're going to talk about are firs. They actually have flat needles that are not in bundles. They are attached directly to the branch. So you can kind of see in the picture, and I've got this on your notes too, you can kind of see how those are a little more flat, less needle-like. Hold on. The cones stand upright on the branches, and when the cones are young, they can be purple. Don't say that God doesn't have an imagination, because who in the world would have dreamed up purple pine cones? Well, sorry, purple fir cones, not pine. The wood from fir trees is often used for pencils and plywood and construction and landscaping. Oops, sorry. Shh. Your pencil might be made from fir wood. I don't know.
I killed it.
Shh. Okay, not if you have a plastic one. Stop it. All right, next we have spruces. Notice again, these look a little different. These have stiff, prickly needles attached to the branches by wooden pegs. If you,
Wait.
there's a little wooden peg that attaches it. Now, I will say this. I don't have access to all these kind of trees. So if you have an evergreen tree in your yard, bring me a couple of needles or needle bundles or whatever. What? On the previous one? Upright. Okay, just bring me some because I don't have those. Now notice the difference. We talked about how on fir trees, the cones stand upright. On spruce trees, they hang down. And we tend to think about the cones releasing the seeds. Ahem. Ava and Sophia, you are going to be split up. Stop it. The cones can actually last on the trees for years, well after they have released their seeds. Spruce wood is used in canoe paddles, furniture, paper, and musical instruments. I believe I have a spruce. Yep. So I'll pass around the spruce, and you will see with the spruce, I really can't dent it with my fingernail like I can the pine. It's making its way around somewhere.
I never got it.
Really? Y'all can't just do a snake when you pass stuff around?
To a random person.
All right. Hey, up here. Okay. Shh. Ahem. Shh. Oh, we're gonna snake. Come on, give it here. Okay. So now let's talk about angiosperms. Any vascular plant that produces flowers and fruit is classified as an angiosperm.
We don't have that paper.
Are you
That's
s-
our paper.
Oh, that must be tomorrow's. Not tomorrow's. Monday's. Sorry, getting ahead of myself.
Speaking of seeds, scientists.
Wait a second.
Mondays.
Shh. Wait a second. Let me double check. Let me make sure I didn't just forget to print something. Very quickly. Oh, yep, that is Mondays. Sorry, that's Mondays. Okay, so. So the pine and the spruce should be making their way around. I'm fairly certain I don't have fir. Cedar. There's another pine. There's balsa. And that's oak. Okay. So you do not listen. You do not have homework for the weekend, but you do have chapter 6 vocab that you can work on for the last few minutes of class. Don't laugh. We're skipping chapter 5. Watch the video from yesterday.